10x your service design offering with Smapply. Take 20% off any order with This Is HCD 20 off. Let's superpower you and your design team's potential. Sign up at smapply.app. Enjoy the episode from your friends at Smapply, helping support This Is HCD podcast.
Welcome to the podcast. My name is Jerry Scullion, and today we are speaking with Adam B. Cochrane, Senior Strategic Designer at Lufthansa Innovation Hub and the Conference Director, brand new Conference Director for the Service Design Global Conference. In our conversation, Adam shares insights into his role at Lufthansa, where he spearheads innovation through strategic intelligence, research and support of the venture development. As the director of the upcoming conference in Helsinki, he focuses on ensuring that both the content and the experience align with the theme of designing for impact, something we're all interested in this podcast. So we're really looking forward to hearing what he has to say on that topic. Adam also dispels some common misconceptions about conferences, particularly highlighting the SDNs operating as a non-profit organisation. And he extends an invitation to anyone to join the conference, whether it's in person or remotely, and provides a mix of fun and professionalism that typifies the service design community. Throughout our discussion, we cover a range of topics, from what it means to participate in the Service Design Global Conference to the intricacies of crafting the conference experience. We delve into the crossover between strategic and conference design, the pivotal role of community building, challenges like ageism in design, and the vibrant Finnish design community. Join us as we unpack these fascinating themes ahead of the big event in Helsinki. Let's dive straight in. Adam, I'm delighted to have you here on the podcast. We've been messaging, I've been aware of your work for a very long time, and as it turns out, I've been connected to you and people that we do know, like Mark Strachan down in Melbourne, for even longer. But maybe for our guests, we'll start off. Tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from and what you do.
Yeah, sure. My usual introduction is that my initials are ABC. I was born on Friday the 13th. If you've seen me moderate or talk on a stage before, you would definitely have heard this one. But I originally hail from Melbourne in Australia. I left there about 10 or 15 years ago, and then I spent the last 10 years living in Berlin. I used to run the service design jams, I used to run the service design drinks, but now I am the conference director for the Service Design Global Conference in my free time, which is also limited, but in my full-time job, I'm the senior strategic designer at Lufthansa Innovation Hub for the last year.
I don't know where to take this conversation. There's many places and many things that we can go to after that intro. Maybe we'll start off with the Lufthansa one, because I know we need to talk about the SDN, the new role that you're taking on, succeeding Jamin Hegeman and Alex Nesbitt as well, I presume. So
big shoes to fill.
Yeah, big shoes. They're probably size 10s or 44s in European size. But what is the role like at Lufthansa? How long have you been there, and what does the work entail?
Yeah, so at Lufthansa, I'm a strategic designer, which means I'm an expert function. But our role at Lufthansa, like the overall team of the Innovation Hub, is to enable innovation for Lufthansa. And we do that in a number of ways. So we do that through strategic intelligence, which is like a research, deep knowledge, trends analysis, customer sentiment. You can have a look on tnmt.com if you want to dive into the world of the airline and mobility industry. Then we have some other people that are doing great transformation work, so like skill enablement, innovation enablement for like the Lufthansa group. But then my team specifically is we have venture developers that kind of build up new ventures, spin them off as their own companies. So things like Navet or Clupio or Swifty. Swifty is like an AI booking tool for business travelers. And my role there really is to help them in the high ambiguity, fuzzy front end of the process. So what is the problem that they want to try and solve? Why do they think that's a problem worth solving at all? And then kind of validating that through user experimentation, user research, prototyping, co-creation, all of the buzzwords, all the methods that we would be familiar with in the HCD world. And that's really my role there, is to kind of be the expert to get them through that phase, so they don't get stuck, deflated, lost, start pitching
Yeah.
things that are maybe wrong or irrelevant, or figure out how to kill things as soon as possible so we don't waste our time developing them further. But that's really my role there.
It sounds like a hybrid role between a coach and a service design, kind of head of service design kind of piece where you're trying to encourage them and mentor them. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say I split my role into three parts, like the doer, where I really get in and do user
Yeah.
research or do different things. I mean, with the support of them and the support of others. Obviously, we have about 9 to 10 ventures at any one time, so I can't be in all of them all of the time. Then there's a little bit of the consulting, coaching side. Okay, what's the thing we're trying to validate? How do we get there? So, setting targets and then elaborating on the process or collection of methods and tools to get us there. And then the last part, which I find really fun, is the enablement part, like actually teaching them about how to do good interviews or how to do good prototypes or experimenting with tools or telling them what service design is. Actually, just yesterday, we did a show, an internal session we call Lunch and Learn with different service designers throughout Lufthansa Group. And we actually talked about what is service design and how can you leverage service design for your project. So that's kind of the third part that I do and spend my time on.
On that point, how do you measure the effectiveness of that role then? If you're kind of encouraging the enablement aspect of it, is that something that you're involved in or something that you currently do?
I wish you'd asked how effective am I in the doing part, but the enablement part is tricky, I guess.
Yeah.
The blank staring faces back at me, if the blank faces become less throughout time, then I've probably done a better job. But there's no real tangible way, I would say, besides, traction, skill, quality of results in their day-to-day thinking and work.
Yeah, the metrics that you can, I guess, see and touch. It's pretty hard when it's something in the enablement space where you could probably measure requests for support or something like that. I'm not too sure, but it's a question that I've had a few times over the last couple of years, and I'm usually like you. I'm like, it's kind of hard, but it sounds like you're doing a lot of stuff at the moment, and the SDN role. For anyone who doesn't know, the Service Design Network, we call it the SDN in short, within the community. I'm not affiliated with the SDN, but I'm a huge supporter. I love the work, and lots of people who are involved with, the Human Centered Design Network are also involved with the SDN. So it's great to learn a little bit more about what they're doing around, especially the upcoming conference. Or is it Helsinki? I think it is in Helsinki. Yeah. I think I saw a sneaky photograph of you having to go over to Helsinki, and I was like, "Oh, that's awful." I'm sure.
Oh my God! Yeah,
tough.
It was the worst. We just had springtime in Berlin, and then I went over there, and we literally had a -2 and a blizzard. It was going back in time. It was crazy. Yeah,
I've never been to Helsinki.
Amazing.
I really want to go. So it's beautiful, though. Correct? Helsinki is meant to be absolutely gorgeous.
I guess you're coming in October, right?
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, there is a ticket there. But what I was planning on doing with this ticket, the SDN are giving us a ticket, folks, to give away on the Human Centered Design Network. As far as I'm aware, if I have to review the contract, if not, I'm going to try and hold them to ransom in this. But I was going to give it away to the community.
Wow, Jerry, you're so charitable. That's so nice of you.
Yeah. Well, someone out there will definitely make use of it. I'm sure of that, because we gave 5 away to the Next Gen conference that was on a couple of weeks ago as well. So we're big supporters.
By the way, did a great job, right?
I heard they did amazing. I gave my ticket away, so I haven't actually seen. I just heard. So the 5 people that won it inside our own community, our private community, they won it, and they're going to be telling us a little bit more about it. They're going to be writing some articles for us to also kind of elevate the work that you and the team are doing at the SDN. Has the theme been set, Adam, for the SDN conference? Go on, hit us.
The Helsinki team are really, really excited to have everyone there this year, and they're doing an amazing job at organizing it. They make me look very good, which is a very honorable role to be as the director. So the theme that they said and that we kind of agreed with them and collaborated on is designing for impact.
Nice.
How to do, this kind of strategic impact through service design. So how can service design really play into, creating impact, measurable impact? How do we measure that impact? How do we understand that impact? Who's creating impact and how? Anything around this. So we have some subtopics and categories. You can see them on the website, but really the idea is to kind of talk about and illustrate, the impact of service design on our government services, on our health services, on our business services. And I think that's something that the Finns also kind of show up very well. They also were the winners of the last Service Design Award for one of their projects,
right.
Project Nemo, which did a project around enabling impact in shipping and freight management for a platform there. So like really illustrating impactful design implementation and how service design is the kind of key to that recipe, I would say. Yeah.
Now you've got me thinking going to Helsinki in October. Now I'm starting to plan. I'm thinking about going.
Do you like saunas, Jerry?
Do I like saunas? I have been known to frequent one once.
Once?
Yeah, just the once.
Okay.
Why is the saunas a big thing over in
the Finns love a good sauna. And if you come, then we're going to the sauna. I have to say, it's one of my favorite things to do with the Finns. The Finn sauna like nobody else.
I'll go if Adam Lawrence goes as well.
Okay. You hear that, Adam Lawrence?
And we'll do a podcast from within the sauna. So there you go.
Sauna. That is amazing.
We'll do it. But tell us now around your role, okay? Because, at the last one that I was at was in Toronto, and I was chatting to Jamin quite a bit. And it seemed to be there's an awful lot of work. And one of the kind of premises of this question in particular is I think there's a belief system out there within the community that conferences are expensive to go to and people make astronomical amounts of money at these conferences. And I want to just kind of open up that Pandora's box a little bit, because having run 3 online conferences before and tried to do an in-person one, the risk associated with running in-person conferences and the costs and the money that has to go on the table is extremely high. Okay. So one of the things that I've heard from the community is that they must be making loads of money. And I know it's most likely not. So maybe we can talk a little bit more around your role because you mentioned you're the director of the conference.
Yeah.
What does that look like and what are you responsible for?
Thankfully, I'm not responsible for the budget, but I can tell you that we do not make money. I mean, matter of factly, the Service Design Network is a non-for-profit, so they literally can't make money off this conference. They can't make money full stop. They're a non-for-profit. No one's filling their pockets with the money. So I also want to talk about that myth. I mean, there are definitely for-profit conferences, but I don't think people go into putting on design conferences, and I've spoken to quite a few other conference directors to make a lot of money. There isn't a lot of money to be made. And we actually tried to reduce, even with the inflation this year, to reduce the ticket price to enable more people to come. But thankfully, I'm not in charge of the money. I'm far too creative and far too just undisciplined to do this. In fact, I'm the one that's often the responsible one for spending all the money. But I would like to call out Enos, my compatriot. She actually is the event planner and the brains behind the operation. She takes care of the budget and stuff like this. But what I'm responsible for as the director, I guess, is setting and working with the local team. And Elisa has set up an amazing team there. She's the local director that we're working with. And so working with the local team to make sure that the content is there, make sure that it's up to that world-class standard that we want to have, make sure that it's really an exciting pilgrimage for our people that come back every year. So making sure that we put again on that great standard that we also had last year in Berlin, making sure that we have fun with all the people that come, but making sure that there's also enough space for new people to join and to have them. So making sure that the experience and the overall feel of the conference is that DNA of the Service Design Global Conference that people come to appreciate and have fun. And I think that represents service design, right? The same with HCD. Service designers are fun and professional. We're professional and serious, but with a bit of a cheeky smile, like we would do, a workshop, but also without shoes on. So I feel like there's this balance of this people. We're going to dance, but
Yeah.
maybe dance in a serious manner for, we play, but we do it, in a professional way. So I think getting the both of those things where it's something that's fun but also impactful is also good. And that's my job, to make sure that we hit the right
Yeah.
Gefühl, we would say in German,
Right
so the right
groove.
feeling, the right atmosphere.
If the Service Design Network Global Conference was a band, a musical band, which band would it be, do you think?
Oh God.
Would it be
The first one that
Radiohead?
came to me, like U2 or Coldplay, but it's terrible. I don't want
Don't
it to
say
be that.
Coldplay. You can say U2 because I'm a huge
Yeah.
U2 fan. Everyone knows that in this
Okay.
podcast.
Yeah. Typical Irish. I was just say AC/DC as a proud Australian, right, or something like that.
Akadaka.
Yeah,
That sounds good
Akazaka.
to me. You're going to shake us all night long.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about the Service Design Network. When I was over in Toronto, I think that was 2019. I think it was the year before the pandemic. I went to the opening keynote, and then I blinked, and the third day had finished, and I had just been outside talking to people for like 8 hours a day. And I caught a couple of
Yeah.
other talks in between there, and then I did loads of podcasts when I was over there at the same time as well, just to really, I did them and I released them like within an hour. I finished them, so they were all up. So we had
Wow.
all the episodes up live within an hour, and it was great fun. It was super super energetic. But everyone that went there, you're right. There seems to be this, I don't like calling it DNA, but a sort of a general theme of the attendees that people are curious, people are respectful, and people are there to have fun and learn. That was the big thing that
Yeah.
I took away. And it's just generally a welcoming event. That's the way I felt after I left the Toronto conference. So, as regards people who are listening to this podcast, and other than buy tickets and go to Helsinki, is there anything else that you want to draw their attention to, like maybe submitting talks, submitting workshop ideas? How can people get involved with the upcoming Service Design Global Conference?
Yeah, sadly, the call for speakers and the call for workshops has closed, so we're a little bit late on that call out. But of course, there's always next year, and I can tell you
Yep.
next year will be a bit further afield than Europe already.
Okay.
And so I would say yes. Well, first thing, come along, have fun. I mean, there's going to be so many different things going on over that week. There's also within the Finnish community putting on quite a show. Come along. But if you can't come along and you want to join remotely, there's of course the hybrid event, which is being organized. And we're really trying to think about creative ways to bring the hybrid participants into the conference more and more. I mean, learnings from the Young Network and the Next Gen conference and the way that they do it is really quite well. So we're trying to share those learnings and obviously learn from them and how we can integrate the digital aspect of it. But of course, if you're in Helsinki, there's still a possibility to put on some Shido tours. So we have the Service Design Open Night, where we invite different agencies and communities within Helsinki, so you can go and visit those locations. But then there's also other ways to participate, of course, through partnerships. And of course, I would say maybe it's a little bit early to say, but also you can put in for hosting next year as well if you really want. But this year, I think you can participate just by coming along and enjoying.
Okay. So your role at Lufthansa, you're just seen as senior strategic designer.
Yes.
What does that give you as a director of a conference? I'd love to know around the crossover and how you approach, I guess, the design of an experience like this, because it's in person, it's physical, it's experiential. What do you bring to this role, and what's the crossovers?
I mean, it's a little bit the chicken egg, I would say. Yeah, so through and out my entire career, there's always been this aspect, and maybe it was because I grew up in a religious community where there was always this sense of social responsibility and social justice. But I would say within my career, I've always found it beneficial to get involved with things like the jam, service design drinks,
Mm.
UX camps or bar camps, hackathons. Actually, I think my first hackathon that I won was a free flight from Lufthansa. So there you go, it comes full
Ah,
circle. But no matter
yeah,
what
there
I've
you
been
go.
doing in my professional career, I've also been doing this extra community building event. And I think that kind of has worked with me in a kind of a cyclical manner. So learning
Mm.
from the community, connecting with great mentors and people. I mean, I'm still in very close contact with the people that I ran my first jams with. We call ourselves the nice people. And they've been great mentors in my life, given me career advice when I've needed it, helped me support me through some difficult situations. And that's kind of
Yeah.
fed into my professional career. And then for my professional career, it's also been helpful to support and kind of, come up with content, themes,
Mm.
conversational points for the community events. But I think as a service designer and approaching a conference, it's a service design conference. Um, there's some principles that I love to iterate, and that's things like, keeping it simple, like the kind of principles there, but also thinking about the experience from start to finish, from the point of awareness to building loyalty, and thinking about those things. Um, but also trying to be very, very practical. And I love like
Mm.
the practical service design community, and I love like Lou Dao book on a good book on good services. Also thinking about a good service from a conference perspective is an
Yeah.
interesting thing as well. So I don't know. They've always kind of like played hand in hand to be doing something in my
Mm.
free time because it's something I'm passionate about, but also
Yeah.
something I get paid for. And like having a place that's a sandbox for me to try things. And that has grown. So initially it was the jams where we could try different things
Mm.
there, the service design drinks, where we could try different things here. And now the sandbox has gotten a little bit bigger, I would say, in scale. So a place where we can again try and experiment things without the pressure of trying to make money, think about business, think about these kind of things, but do
Sure.
it more for the passion reason and to keep that
Sure.
fire alive of the passion instead of just making it about
Yeah.
work.
Have the keynotes been announced for the global
They have
conference?
not.
No.
We're
Do you know who they
almost
are?
there. We're
Do you,
almost
do,
there.
do you know who they are?
I can't ruin the surprise, but
This
keep
won't
an
go out
eye
for a
out on
couple
the
of weeks.
website.
This won't go out for a couple of weeks, so you may as well tell us.
Jerry, I can't. I'm sworn to confidentiality. Yeah, I know.
It's
I'm sorry. I
it's
can't burst the bubble,
it's
but I
like
can tell you that there
CIA
will be some,
stamped and approved.
but I
Okay.
know that
All
there will
right.
be some interesting, diverse speakers bringing in some really interesting points. I'm very, very excited. Sabine and David are doing a fantastic job with the support of Federico on the speakers team and the content team. There's going to be some amazing workshops. Those will also go out shortly. So I think if you're listening to this podcast right now, go on and just Google Service Design Conference, and
I'll
you
put a link
you
to it.
should be able
I'll
to
put a link in the show
see
notes.
them. And
Yeah.
but yeah, there's some really good speakers and content, and also the amount of applications we got was phenomenal this year for different talks. The
Mm.
range of talks were really quite fascinating. I think in today's like with all the layoffs and like a bit of the crunch on the design and financial like situation, and I think like this focus on impact is brought out some really interesting
Yeah.
perspectives of how to really justify and show the value of service design. And there's a lot of talks and a lot of interesting projects that are doing that. And
Yeah.
should be pretty cool. But I can't say
Design.
anything more.
No. Okay. Listen, look, you heard here, folks. I
You
did my
do.
best to try and get an exclusive there.
My arm is
Just
very twisted at the
so
moment.
difficult to get anything out of this guest. I'm only joking. One of the things that's coming out of our own community at the moment, the theme that was set, I think it was 4 weeks ago, was ageism in design. And
Oh, good one.
what we're seeing at the moment is, now we don't have any hard facts, but we've a lot of kind of anecdotal evidence from individual perspectives of people who are entering kind of more senior ages of their life, like so 40s, 50s, 60s. And those people are struggling to find re-opportunities to come back into the industry. And when I train organizations, and if I train people, like I've been lucky to do this for the last 5-6 years, a lot of the designers that I'm seeing being trained either in organizations or online tend to be in their 20s and 30s. Okay, they're really curious. They're brilliant. Nothing against that. Do you think that there's an opportunity there for the service design maybe network at this global event? Is there anything that can be done to elevate this kind of conversation around ageism? Because it is a huge problem, and it's going to affect all of us, I think, at some point. Like, I'm now mid-40s. If I was to go back into the workplace and try and get a job, I most likely would struggle because I'm older. Is that something that you could see that may be sort of woven into the design for impact? Because it's definitely part of that family.
Yeah, I mean, service design, we wear it with a badge of pride about like how we like to be multidisciplinary, bringing multiple perspectives, that we value this kind of diversity of input. And I think, I don't know if we do it so well, but we really should and must do it well. I mean, I don't know if it's a thing of if we're good at it, but definitely it's something that we proclaim to be very good at and do. I think service design, in terms of this orchestrator role, also benefits from a lot of wisdom from a lot of people with different backgrounds as well.
Yeah.
And I do see a lot of people that are experienced in other fields and other industries coming to service design and leveraging service design as a way to create more impact in their work. And I think that's also something that's interesting. So I also sometimes see within service design that young people just study service design and nothing else, and then try to bring in that, or try to get to that orchestrating position, which service designers often need to take, and struggle a little bit because they don't have this depth of experience and depth of knowledge. So on one hand, it could be an advantage to be a bit more experienced and then switch to service design. On the other hand, I think it's maybe a bit of a wider problem of systemic. Our corporate culture that values, systemic, exactly, that values this kind of young talent that has further growth and development and is probably cheaper. But I think service design gives itself off quite naturally to people with more experience jumping into service design.
100%.
But for sure, it's a challenge. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. When I was in Toronto, it felt like that conference was coming from the DNA of the Canadian design world. Like, you know, what can we expect at the Helsinki one, apart from saunas?
More saunas? I'm very excited. So notorious, like, I don't know, like Berlin has a very famous club culture, right? And so last year it was at Berlin. Just in case anyone didn't know, the Service Design Global Conference was in Berlin. We had a great deal of fun. It was a very good couple of days. We had a great location and a very good final party. So one thing that I'm maybe excited about that probably shouldn't be is the final party, because it's even better this year and even bigger. And there is a karaoke room. I've seen it. I've tested it. It's there. We're going to be singing karaoke on the final night. There's also a really great brand new dance and techno place. So if you are really excited and you've enjoyed networking with different people, we can also come and celebrate. So that's what I'm looking forward to at the end. And anyone that's there, I will share with them a shot of Mintu, which is for me a peppermint flavored schnapps from Finland. And we can share schnapps at the end of the conference. But I think on a more serious note, besides drinking and partying, which is always good. And the Finns do know how to party and drink. That's when they start to get social. Normally people say, oh, Finns are very standoffish. You know, they didn't need any COVID precautions because they were already distancing by 1 or 2 meters. But you get them drinking and you get them in a sauna, and then they'll sit very closely and they won't shut up. But anyway, just to not offside my complete team of Finns. But on a serious side, I think Finland has had for centuries, an amazing design culture. I mean, they have a fantastic design, Marimekko and patterns and fashion and industrial designs and the legacy. We also partnered with Ornamo, which is one of the oldest communities of designers and design practitioners in Europe, actually. So Ornamo is helping, I guess, bring forward that design maturity and that finished design aspect to the conference as well. And I mean, there's just so many amazing projects in Finland, like the new library that they've launched, there's service design thinking and design thinking practices and user-centered design practices throughout this entire project. So it's not only that the conference is going to be infused with this Finnish design culture, but there's also a lot of things to see in Finland that you can see that are amazing examples of good design. And then I think like the other thing that I think the Finns bring to it is a certain level of practicality and professionalism. Even from one of the talks that I'm most excited about. Oh, okay. There is one talk that I can tell you about, Jerry. Okay, one. Okay. So we have the head of design from the Finnish government, from Helsinki government speaking. And she will be sharing about some of her work for the Finnish government and from the city of Helsinki. And there will be, just as a secret, a bit more drinking, but there will be a special welcome from the mayor of Helsinki himself. So, I mean, they're really putting on a show, and this is what I mean by they're really putting on a show. There's something every night, there's something every day. The workshops are fantastic. There are some great talks, but I think Finns do design very well. They do user-centered design. They do service design very well. They're one of the biggest chapters I think we have in the service design network. So yeah, that will be there as well. Sorry, I get really excited, Jerry. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm rambling.
No. This is great. Like, and I can testify to this that a lot of the Finnish people that I do know are really passionate. Not only just passionate about design, but it's in the DNA in the city and the people of Finland. It seems to be that most people that I know who are Finnish, and not all of them are designers. Before anyone who's cynical starts chiming up, they can articulate and understand services and design generally better than most. And that's usually an indicator for me around how cultures are able to adopt service design. If they can talk about it and understand the components of it. Yeah, I see that quite a lot, like, you know. I'm actually on the website now. I didn't realize the SDN had servicedesignGlobalConference.com because I used to always go to the SDN website. So I don't know if this is a new thing.
That's our feedback and development learning. So we've recently decided and defined that we probably need to up our digital presence. So thank you for everyone that gave us that feedback to help us improve. We're always open to feedback. You can write to me personally at adambcochrane@gmail.com and give me some personal feedback if you would like. Or
absolutely.
Here's my feedback at Service Design Network.
I'll do that. I'm going to put all your contact details into the into the show notes.
My phone number. That's private.
What would you do if I did that? Like, you know, it was just like, hey, if anyone, WhatsApp Adam.
WhatsApp Adam. Adam hotline. And just message
pretty much. Well, that would be a really cool thing to integrate into your website. Like, you know, dial straight into Adam B. Cochrane. But I will put a link to this website. Obviously, Adam's here, like, he's multifaceted. He's got really interesting work going on at Lufthansa, which we'd love to have you back on and talk in more detail about that at some point. But really, like, we wanted to give a shout out to the SDN, the Global Conference that's coming up on October the 2nd to the 4th in Helsinki. As you can see now, Adam has whispered in who the keynotes are. I do know who the keynotes are. I'm just choosing not to tell. I'm only joking. He wouldn't even tell me who they are. So it's going to be a great event. I'm going to weigh up and see if I can afford to go over there and spend some time at the conference. I think it'd be super cool. But Adam, is there anything else you want to give a shout out to before we wrap up the episode about the conference?
Yeah, I think, like, of course, don't forget that there's the Service Design Day on in June 1st. So if you're in a city with a service design chapter, they'll probably be celebrating Service Design Day. Great way to get involved as well. And then I would give another call out to maybe, like, if you're in Berlin, the Service Design Drinks there do a great theme as well. And then the other thing is, if you want to chat with me and if you want to get involved, you can actually contact me on my email address, of course, but maybe a better way is to book some time through ADP List. So I'm available for mentoring or coaching. And if you have some ideas or you want some feedback, talk about service design, then you can book in some time and offer there one-on-one mentoring sessions. You can book there. It's also a great platform. So maybe shout out to the team at the ADP List for doing some good work. And allowing people to access some smart people. But no, that's about it. Thank you so much, Jerry. I really, really appreciate it. It's an honor to be on this podcast. finally.
And honor to have you on it as well. Like, you did give a talk, which we'll try and link to as well. It must have been during the pandemic because we were doing an awful lot of stuff, community-based work around that time. So I'll put a link to it. I remember at that time I edited that one, and I was like, this is a really good talk. And then Marcus was like, I told Marcus, he was like, yeah, I know, Adam is a really cool guy. I can't believe you don't know him. And I'm like, and I don't know him. And then on this podcast, for the longest time, I thought you were German. And then, you get on this and you're like, g'day, mate, how's it going? And I'm like, bloody hell, Struth, you're Aussie.
It's true, I am. I try and hide it. As much as
fair dinkum. We're getting them all out there. Come here, Adam. We will have you back on. We'd love to talk to you about Lufthansa. Something that I'm really interested in, especially at the moment with the airports. Lots of stuff going on. I'm sure that's interesting that the audience would love to hear more about. So thanks again for your time.
Thank you for having me, Jerry. It's been a pleasure as well. Hopefully, as always.
Yeah.